Hi everyone, my name is Joanne and I am the Eclectic Stitcher. Welcome to my FlossTube channel. This channel is primarily about cross stitching. However, today I will talk a little bit about how I am bringing back diamond painting into my crafty world. Today is Saturday, not June, August 24th, 2024. So welcome to all of you who have subscribed and have joined me for a while now. Thank you for interacting with me in the messages below. And if you're new here, I hope that you will find something that you like and that you'll join me and that we can interact in this community. I know there's a lot of floss tubers out there, so I do thank you for coming and stopping by and seeing what I have to share. I have been gone for a little while. Life has been busy. I will tell you a little bit about that here in just a few minutes. I don't do a whole lot of life updates. Sometimes I wait to the end. Sometimes I do. I don't know. I'm just going to let you guys know that I've been busy. My daughter's been volunteering for one of the football leagues here in our county. And so she volunteers 4 days a week in the evenings for about 2 hours, which means I get out of work and take her there, and we don't get home till almost 8:30 at night. So that's been keeping me busy. And then a few weeks ago, I decided to join a billiards league. Yeah, I know. Like, I've never played pool, but my coworker has a pool league, and so he was looking for a beginner who he can train and teach to add to his team. And guess who got picked? So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll join. So I started that about 3 weeks ago. Of course, I've never played pool before. Um, and so I am learning. I've played a couple games already. Didn't win, but you know what? I've made some good shots, and so I'm kind of happy at the progress that I'm making in just a few weeks. So that keeps me busy. We play 1 day a week. We play, and it's the same thing. I get off of work, I go straight to the pool hall, and it's about 40 minutes away. And it's usually not until after midnight when I get home. So long days, long nights. So that's really kept me busy. I try to go to the billiards hall with my son when I can, like today, this afternoon we'll go. So him and I will go and we'll practice. Just kind of adding a lot of stuff into my life, just out of nowhere. And so I've been busy. Haven't done a whole lot of stitching, but I do have whips that I'm going to show because prior to all this, I did quite a bit of stitching, and so, excuse me, it just kind of changed in the last 3 weeks. So it's kind of slowed down, but I have things to share that I'll do that today. So that's pretty much life updates, just kind of working. My daughter's working, and so I'm kind of coordinating with her and her work schedule, and then volunteering, and then me going to play billiards, and it's like, blah, just all over the place. Keeping up with stitching. I'm traveling. I do travel. Personally, I travel sometimes twice a month, a couple weekends out of the month. Work, we travel. We haven't traveled in the last 2 months, but we are traveling again in October, and then it just kind of trickles from there. I do have a couple cross-stitch retreats coming up in September, so lots and lots of things going on. Staying busy, I'm loving it. So that's that. So just kind of want to give you a quick update on that. So since my last video, and I do have notes today because I want to make sure that I cover everything. Usually when I go like this 3 or 4 weeks, it just makes it harder for me to remember. But since our last video, I participated in the Midsummer Stitch. I know a lot of you have heard about Midsummer Stitch. It was hosted by Stephanie from Lindy Stitches. So I'm not going to talk too much about it. I am going to show, though, that Cheryl from Tiny Modernist created an exclusive chart for Midsummer Stitch, and I started it and finished it that weekend. So as soon as we got a hold of that chart, I went ahead and started it, so I will show that to you. So that kept me busy during Midsummer Stitch. But that's a lot of fun. If you have never done an online retreat, I know it's, a lot of times we like those face-to-face retreats, but we're not always able to go to face-to-face retreats because of travel and costs and things like that. So anytime that you can catch an online retreat, do it because it is so much fun. Linda Stitches also does Jingle Ball in December, and that's a 3-day retreat. It's great. Lots of people attend that. So look out for that. If you're not following Lindy Stitcher, follow her because she does these, Zoom retreats throughout the year now. And they're great. So just look out for that. Now there was Stitch the Summer Olympics. I'm trying to think. The Nap Time Stitcher. She hosted the Stitch the Summer Olympics. Summer Olympics are over. I will tell you that I had done my chart, had that going, but life just kind of got busy, so I didn't do very well on that. But I did start participating in that, and I think I have a couple of whips that I use for that. But I just, because my life is so different, busy now, I think I'm going to kind of step back from participating in challenges for a little bit and just kind of stitch what I want, when I want type of thing, because I feel like if I sign up for a challenge, I'm not going to finish it. I'm not going to participate in. And I kind of just feel bad about that. When it starts feeling like work, I just feel like it's no fun anymore because I'm stressing, thinking, oh my gosh, I got to get this stitch and I got to get this. I got to, So I'm kind of backing off for that for a little bit. Seasook Stitch, Carolyn from Seasook Stitch, she does the September AB Singo. And last year, I really enjoyed participating in that. I like her challenges, but I'm just not going to participate in that. So we'll talk a little bit about, my plans towards the end of the video on what I'm going to be doing. What I do want to mention, though, before we go into whips, is that during Midsummer Stitch, I have met a lot of new floss tubers. And so I kind of wanted to mention them just because I think that their videos are great, channels are great. I know we have a lot of stitchers out there that have floss tubes. I know our YouTube is just kind of getting bombarded with floss tube, but I wanted to share these floss tubers with you because a lot of these floss tubers have shouted me out, and I thank them so much for doing that. That's how we get to know each other and let others know about us. So because they mention me, I want to also mention them. And I want you to know about them because I know we have different followers, and it's always good to find new people to watch us. So let me talk a little bit about that. Now, during Midsummer Stitch, I also started the Huga Holiday. I talked about that. It's by Hands On Design. And so I will have that whip. I did the Midsummer Stitch and to kind of focus on that during that weekend. And so I'll show those to you. Now, let's talk about floss tubers. And these are people that I've never heard of. You've probably heard of them. Sometimes I feel like I live in a box because I don't know who's out there. And it's like, well, what do you mean you don't know about this person? Well, I just don't, So, here are some of these floss tubers. The Sable Stitchers, Jen's Fiber Web, Jacinta of Crafting on the Plains. I think her name is really cool, Jacinta. Eve of Queen V Crafts, Diane of BA Blessing Stitcher, Justine the Shaky Stitcher, Bex Ben, Elizabeth Savory, Sassy Jack Stitchery, Salty Stitcher, Sammy J Stitches, Britches Get Stitches. I have to be careful how I say that. When I first saw her name, I thought it said something else, but it is Britches Get Stitches. Critter Stitcher, Hoop It Up with Jan, 314 Stitcher, and Pam. Pam Wilson Stitch Co. Pam is a special friend of mine. Pam is also from Florida, so I am in Florida. And I met Pam in a Facebook group sometime last year. And so she found out where I lived, and she kind of knew my area before. And, you know, Pam, she's a hoot. I love Pam. I don't get to see her very often, but I got to see her at Midsummer Stitch. And, you know, in some of the student groups that she's joined with us, hopefully I get to see her more. But it was so funny, you know, talk about being in a small world. I went to pay my rent one time at a bank, and the bank that the landlord at the time used, and this was last year sometime, you know, you had to go into this ATM, and it was a teller, a virtual teller. So you go to this ATM, you click start, and then a teller comes up on the screen. And, you know, and of course I've got my ID on the screen, and Pam happened to be my teller that day. Didn't know where she lived. I didn't know exactly, you know, I didn't know what she really looked like in person. And it was so funny when she looks at my name. She says, Joanne Pacheco, are you? Da-da-da. What a small world. So here's Pam taking care of my rent transaction, and her and I were interacting, and it was just so cool. You know, it's like small world. You know, you're in the Stitchy community, and here I go to make this payment on this teller, virtual teller, and here's Pam on my screen. So I thought that was pretty cool. And it was really nice seeing her at Midsummer Stitch. So yeah, so those are some of the FlossTubers. I just had to say that about Pam because she is great. All these FlossTubers are great. Hanging out with them during Midsummer Stitch, we had a lot of laughs. You know, us lurkers, they're out there. We're out there, and you probably have heard about them. And I'm sorry if we made you laugh too much, or, you know, sorry we've kept you up to 2 o'clock in the morning. That's what we do. We like to have fun while we're stitching. And all of these FlossTubers that I mentioned, they're great. Their videos are great. Go watch them. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I will list them below in the show notes below. I will link them and shout them out. So yeah, so those are my FlossTubers. I want to move into haul before we go into whips. So I have a few things for haul. First of all, I am part of the Tiny Modernist Patreon. I was in the Teresa Code at Patreon, which is, you know, they're inexpensive, but I just felt like I was getting a lot of charts and things, and so I had to back off of one. I really like Tiny Modernist, so I've kept her for Patreon. But this is the August chart that she put out, and I think it is so cute. It's called Dream Big. There's a lot of back stitching on that. I'm not a fan of back stitching. I will do it because I know it really brings out the image, but I thought that was a really cute chart. So I got that for August.